Uh-oh. I always think we can back out until I hear that.
No, buckle up, buddy. Here we go. Brothers, sisters, siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School. I'm Matt Donnelly, filling in for Michael Goudreau, who has decided to live off the grid for the rest of his life. We are broadcasting from our homes and into your ear holes with more of the life and times of master magician, author, and guru Penn. Sorry, plate spinner, Penn. Here he is preaching the love, Penn.
That's a distinction that need not be made between guru and plate spinner. As the John Lennon, Mia Farrow, and Donovan all yelled to the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, number three, get number three. Get number three. Get
slowing down.
No, five. And the smiling guru, sexy Sadie, went, no, just a little rotation. That was my Sid Caesar impersonation of the smiling guru.
I like it.
You know, I did a show called Exonerated. Did I talk about doing Exonerated with Mia Farrow? I think I did.
You've talked a little bit about it, especially like basically your close encounter with Mia Farrow. I think you've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I always think about that. I'm so afraid to make jokes about that time with the Beatles in India because I'm afraid you're going to say, oh, by the way, I was having sex with Ringo Starr during that time. I was there.
Yeah.
So that all my kind of talking from a distance is nonsense.
Right.
So,
that was a play?
It was a play called Exonerated, and it was a staged reading. We stood behind lecterns and read the scripts.
Right.
And it was all people who had been on death row and had been exonerated. And I had to step into the shoes of, what's his name? Now I'm saying Donnelly because you're here.
That's right.
But who's the great actor?
Brian Dennehy.
Yeah. I had to step, Brian Dennehy and I alternated.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine going to see Brian Dennehy in a show and ending up seeing Penn?
That's a weird one.
But we did it.
I imagine you were the same by weight, though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit shorter than me and I was a bit less fat, but not by much.
Yeah.
Can we hear you give Rambo some shit?
And, Dean Cameron, do you know Cameron?
Yeah.
The great actor, gave me advice. Did I ever talk about the advice he gave me about going on Exonerated?
I think you have spoken a little bit about it, but people are always curious about this. But this was...
Because, I had to do acting, and I had to be a guy on death row and a guy who was... Dean told me, and boy, this was difficult. He told me when you go into rehearsals for this show with, Mia Farrow and Pierre Coyote and real actors.
Yeah.
He said, don't use any of your tricks to be Penn. Don't be funny. Don't try to charm people. Don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
Just go in and keep your head down and be alienated for the whole time.
He actually gave me the same advice about co-hosting this podcast. Don't be funny.
And following it beautifully.
Thank you.
And it was really hard.
Yeah.
To go into a situation with all the tools you have for the way you are.
Yeah.
And not be that way. And by the time it got to rehearsal and showtime, I was really a very different person.
Also, going to that environment where those people have their accomplishments in their field, your superpower is to separate from them, to be like, I am an entertainer. I can get up in front of audiences all the time
Sure.
and crush it, right?
Sure.
So you got to That's your way of like, I have my turf, you have yours, and I'm here in your field.
And not allowing me to do that
Yeah.
was just crippling in a way that was very good. I guess I should say I was really proud of it. I guess I shouldn't say I really enjoyed it.
Right.
That's slightly different, but I enjoyed having done it.
But you were scared to embrace Dino's advice. It was intimidating. That's an intimidating assignment, right?
Yeah, and I think I was good. I mean, Bob Balaban was the director,
Yeah.
and he gave me a great deal of praise.
Oh, good.
And I did it, I think, 2 weeks off Broadway, and then I did it in San Francisco as well. They would shuffle the cast around. Since we were doing a staged reading and reading it, we could change around who was in the cast pretty easily.
How long did you do the role? You know, obviously with time on and time off, but how much of a period of time did it take up?
Well, I think I did 2 weeks in New York and a week in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And then in between there was months.
Oh, okay.
And then they went to do the TV show, and in a very flattering way, Bob Balaban wanted me to do the TV show,
Oh, wow.
the TV version, and we pushed really hard. We could not get my schedule to work because, I was doing the magic show.
Right.
So couldn't do that. So Brian Dennehy, you can see Brian Dennehy's performance in the TV version of Exonerated.
Have you done, like, is this the longest run you have done as a non-Penn and Teller in a theater?
I did, I guess when we did Rocky Horror show, we were Penn and Teller.
Yeah. Oh, no, but that counts. How long? I thought that was that like a week or was that like a long run?
Might have been 2 weeks.
Okay.
But we were Penn and Teller. I mean, the characters were Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
But I did dress and drag, and that was really fun.
That's, I mean, you're going to that theater, you're checking in, you're standing in, you're going to your space, you got to get your hair and makeup and that kind of shit done, right?
Yep.
So that's, I mean, like you committing to someone else's theatrical experience that isn't produced by yourself.
I would love to do more of that. I really liked doing a little bit of acting, a little, struggling through a little bit of acting.
Was it hard in director's cut? Since you were like, that was your operation, it's kind of like doing the Penn and Teller show.
Everything was hard in director's cut. Director's cut, the subtitle was "Penn pisses up a rope." The world did not want me to make that movie.
Yeah.
I made it in spite of the world.
Yes.
And the world made very clear to me every step, we don't want you to make this movie.
We were right the first time. You've done nothing to change our minds.
It was difficult physically, emotionally, professionally, interpersonally.
Oh.
I guess there was not a plague of locusts, but most other stuff that could be unpleasant was unpleasant.
So you weren't thinking about Dino's advice a lot during that time?
No, I got along with the director.
Yes.
Surprisingly. And end of list.
So then, did Dino's advice ever come into play later on? Because you've done stuff with other television shows and things like that.
I did a show, there was an incredibly good show called Cracker out of England with Robbie Coltrane. And Robbie Coltrane was crazy wicked good.
Yeah.
And they decided, because they're Hollywood people who sometimes make mistakes, that they should do an American version of Cracker. Because it was so goddamn successful, why wouldn't you do it entirely differently over here? So they were auditioning for people to play the lead role, which was to say Cracker, who was of course, a detective, who was also a
white guy
psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And I went in and did, with Dean's help, by the way, Dean Cameron was the star of Summer School.
Yeah.
And Summer Beach and Ski School and all these shows in the 80s. As a matter of fact, somebody came up to us when we were out together and said to Dino, Wait a minute, weren't you in Ski Beach too? But Dean now, if you watch television, episodics,
Yes.
Dean shows up all the time as a shrink or a lawyer.
Yeah, and he's always excellent. And I think
Excellent.
that's always the thing, about typecasting and stuff like that. I mean, we know famously the stories of like what Johnny Depp did to break out of being a heartthrob and all the things he wanted to do that was considered career suicide just to be able to act in roles that he actually liked,
Mm-hmm.
I remember having dinner with Dean and Emily, your wife.
I know Emily.
Yeah. I think you two had hit it off. And knowing this, like, oh, Dean Cameron, yeah, I've heard of him, whatever. And when he sat down and started talking, I was like, oh my God, I forgot how much when I was younger that I wanted to be Chainsaw. That like he was so funny and so much of a aloof badass that I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Chainsaw's talking to me.
When you watch Summer School
Yeah.
and Chainsaw is over in the corner with a magazine open,
Yeah.
it's Skeptical Inquirer. It's the Skeptic Scientific magazine is what Chainsaw is reading. But I've been friends with Dino forever
Yeah.
and just love him. And so he coached me through Cracker.
Yeah.
And I went in, and this is, 25 years ago. And they were very upset that I was not alcoholic. They were very upset that I had not had drugs or alcohol because the character, that's a big thing because it's a detective.
Yes.
And I said, well, don't they have iced tea and stuff? And they were very upset that I had not been divorced
Uh-huh.
and had not been married and did not have children I was estranged from.
Those problems are all fixable in like a week. That sounded like nothing but solvable problems if I'm your agent.
And they were also upset that I was not particularly morose. They wanted someone who was funny
Yeah.
and then was morose other times.
Yeah.
So I got like 3 or 4 callbacks. I was in the final 2.
Yeah.
And they said to me, which they might have been just jacking me around,
Yeah.
but they said that I was good at the stuff that no one else could do, and I was terrible at the stuff that everybody else found easy. So what they meant by that was the lectures he gave in front of the class, I think,
Yeah.
I was very good at. And I think that the long monologues I was very good at. The scene they were having trouble with was me with my estranged wife in McDonald's,
Yeah.
which they said everybody else just nailed.
But you would struggle with that now,
Yeah.
right? You and Emily are, you guys are different folks, and you operate differently, I think, than the average couple. I don't think you
I
guys
don't
average
have
couples.
I don't have an estranged wife.
No.
I don't even really have an estranged girlfriend. I have some women from the past who hate me. But I'm very good friends with my high school girlfriend.
Right.
And of serious girlfriends I've had, I am friends with the majority of them.
Yeah.
But the idea of somebody who my relationship is uncomfortable with, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have strained relationships in my life, really.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like even today, I don't think you would be able to relate to that from a sense memory perspective.
No, I wouldn't. And I don't know. I didn't know how to, I guess, portray the. I think a lot of people are really good at that. I mean, I think when they go to acting school, that's one of the things they get good at.
Oh yeah.
And they don't practice the stuff that I'm good at.
No.
So I guess, it only lasted, I think, like maybe a show, maybe a pilot.
Yeah.
But
You certainly, for all your acting, wish list and stuff, I don't think you wished that you went to some kind of big acting school, though, right?
I don't really
spending a semester packing up your dorm room into a laundry basket, setting up on stage, and authentically trying to figure out where you left your keys? I think that's something you want to do for a whole semester.
Oh, that seems hard.
That's what some people do.
I never was interested in acting. It was never a goal of mine.
Right.
But when I got sucked into it as an ancillary business to my magic show and my Carney Trash stuff, I actually enjoyed it. I think of everything I've done in acting, it was Exonerated that I liked doing the most. Because I felt like I was really doing a skill thing.
Yeah.
That was different. You know, and like a lot of other shows like Numb Threeers, and I'm just playing myself.
Right.
Scorpions, I got to be someone else, and I kind of liked that.
You did enjoy that. You had your gestures.
Sweater vest. And I got to make different gestures and speak Chinese.
So this is what we're talking about now, right? You're back on the market is what you're saying.
Sure.
Teller show's down. Now's the time to cast Penn. Go for it.
I'm about to do my first television.
You are?
In September, since the lockdown.
Okay.
I'm going to go to L.A. and perform. But I'll tell you all about that after this commercial.
Oh, he's a pro, guys. That's a pro tease.
I'm going to get right into this because this is, you know, one of my favorite companies to do an advertisement for because they are so goddamn good. As a matter of fact, you know, we vet the people carefully that we advertise for. So I feel good about all of them. As we slowly adjust to the new normal, we still need to be smart about how we do business. Luckily, there's Stamps.com to make things easier. Thousands of small business owners have discovered the benefits of Stamps.com in recent months. They've been able to keep their businesses running and avoid the crowds at the post office, all from their own computers. With Stamps.com, you can print postage on demand and avoid going to the post office. And you'll save money with discounted rates you can't even get at the post office. Stamps.com also offers UPS services with discounts up to 62% and no residential surcharges. And if you're a person who does delivery as part of your business, mail order, you know that the residential surcharges kill you.
Yeah.
Stamps.com brings all the mailing and shipping services you need right to your computer in the comfort of your home or office. Whether you're a small business sending invoices, an online seller shipping out products, or just working from home and need to mail stuff, Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. We sent out, speaking of Director's Cut, probably 8,000 pieces of mail, Stamps.com, from home.
Yeah.
From home. Did it all. And they were so helpful. There, you know, any little glitches you hit with your software or printer, they were right there to help, even when it was your fault, and fix it right away. They were tremendously good. Stamps.com, you get great discounts too. 5 cents off every stamp and up to 62% off USPS and UPS shipping rates. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. I can't believe there's anybody not doing it. But if you are one of the people not doing it, do it now and give me credit for it. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in
Penn.
That's Stamps.com, enter
Penn.
It's a good company. You should support them. They are tremendous. So there's a show that I was on last season called 25 Words or Less.
Oh, there's like a game show.
Yeah, it's like the old show Password.
Yeah.
Where you have to get someone to say a word without saying it.
Okay.
And I made a joke on there that was very, very inappropriate that they cut out. But boy, did it make me laugh.
Okay.
And since we're tied up with the other show, I will attempt to tell it here.
Okay.
And it may come back and bite me in the ass. I don't think Glenn's listening today or he'd be cringing. But I forgot what word they were trying to get me to say. But my partner in this was my civilian partner was African American.
Uh-huh.
And while she was getting me to say this word, which I think had to do with maybe cheese or jam or something, some foodstuffs, she said to me, "Cracker." And I said, "What did you call me?" And then she took part of the time to apologize, which, of course, hurt our score. But
Yes.
we still won. She took home the money, so it was okay.
That's good. That's good. I love that. She apologized for the joke that you made. That's even better.
Well, she apologized for calling me Cracker. Even though
She was using it as a clue, right? She wasn't taking a break to call you Cracker, right?
she was not in any way, shape, or form. She did nothing at all wrong. I crazily busted her on something, and then she was kind enough to apologize anyway.
Yeah.
But boy, it made me laugh.
That's very funny.
And by the way, no one else.
Really?
No one else.
There wasn't even like a one camera guy who gave you a look like that was great.
No.
No one kind of drifted over to catering with you to be like, that Cracker moment was the best thing.
No, and
that's happened
Glenn
all
came
season.
over to me, drifted to me, to craft services, and went, you didn't need to do that.
The fact that
I
you know how
said-
to nail Glenn's exasperated face means that he's done it enough for you to study.
Yeah, exasperated, but more important than that, weary. I am tired. I am weary. I could sleep for 1,000 years. That's Glenn Allen.
I ran the Penn simulation of Penn doing this show in my head 1,000 times, and it did not emotionally prep me for Cracker.
I was prepared for a non sequitur Sun Ra reference.
Yeah. Just stuff that
I was prepared for him to think he was Iggy Pop for 15 seconds.
I was prepared for him to open his shirt for no reason.
I was prepared for him to use obscenity on Jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When I swore on Jeopardy, when they had BULLS blank 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 T
Yeah.
as one of the categories, I said, "I'll take bullshit for 50, please."
Yeah.
And my wife turned to the producer and said, "When someone uses obscenity on Jeopardy, do you bleep it? Do you cut it? Do you And they said, "We don't know. No one ever has."
I find that to be no way someone didn't just I just someone yelling shit or whatever when something went wrong or something.
It's Jeopardy. It's not hockey. I was the first person to swear on Jeopardy. And I think later the same show, I missed one and went, "Oh, fuck. Jeopardy is not a show where they've got their finger on the button for the censor."
No. They're
So
they're all like looking under their desk for the tape delay button. They're like, where did we put this?
And I also argued about one of the clues, and they said since I was on the second show, they had the Penn Gillette rule that they couldn't use those kind of words
Oh,
because they used the word glamping,
yeah.
and then told me I couldn't use the word glamour as a clue.
Oh,
And I had already bid how many words I could do it in.
well, that's not fair.
So I did discuss that with them. And I said to the guy today, wonderful producer, terrific guy. I said to him when I had my Zoom meeting with him, I said, you don't think you care about the show, and then you're in the middle of it, and all of a sudden you're in a discussion with the judges going, "But you got to understand." I planned my bid based on thinking I could use the word glamour. And now you tell me I can't. I feel like my bid needs to be taken back. And he said, "Well, yes, we appreciate that you did take it seriously." And I said, "But I don't remember taking it seriously, but the court record shows I did." I actually said during the recording, maybe speak to the judges, please. Could I speak to the judges?
you said, "Listen here, Cracker." Now, what adjustments are they making for this show in the pandemic?
Well, they are making adjustments that are so phenomenal that I am willing to do the show.
Right. You have not left your house.
I will get a trailer that has been cleaned and is shared with nobody. I will then walk down a corridor alone, and I will go into a plexiglass pod.
Whoa.
And in that pod will be a computer screen in front of me, a boom mic, and remote cameras. And my competitor and my teammates, there'll be 2 competitors and 1 teammate, will be in pods across the room, also sealed up. No cameramen, no sound, no hair, no makeup. If I want touch-ups, they have a masked and shield makeup and hair person that will assist me, but I can also do it myself.
All right.
And I'll be doing 2 days, which how many shows is 2 days, Matt Donnelly?
How many shows do you film in 2 days?
Yeah.
For this game show?
Mm-hmm.
2?
12.
Wow.
I will do 6 shows a day for 2 days.
That's
So I will
lot of
leave my
shows.
home with 12 changes of clothes
yeah.
ironed and laid out in the hatchback of my Tesla. I will drive from my home to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I will stop at a charging station once. I will glove up, mask up, plug in for 20 minutes, and pee in a field. That's my plan. I will then use the snacks that I've packed with me, which will be none, because I've lost 20 pounds and want to lose another 20. So no snacks, no Cheez-Its with me.
Okay.
Cheez-Its aren't vegan anyway. And I will arrive at the Sunset Marquee. For those of you who like to wait outside to get my autograph, that's where I'll be. I will walk in a
You're
separate
the guy
entrance.
from 25 Words or Less.
Yes, I am. You're the cracker from 25 Words or Less. I will go to my room.
It's too edgy for an episode title, right?
It'll be... I believe so.
All right. Moving on.
I will then be in my room. They will not clean my room. They'll leave towels outside. The next day, I will drive myself to the set. I will take the shirts out of the back of my Tesla. I will hang them up, and I will do 6 shows. I will come back, and I guess I will order from Real Food Daily to have them bring me a vegan bowl to my room, and I will eat. If I want a scene in my Stooges buddies, you know, the usual gang of idiots that I know in L.A., Handsome Jack, Andy Lerner, Stephen Banks, Dean Cameron, I guess I will meet them outdoors by the pool at the Sunset Marquee, and we will stay 15 feet apart in masks, and we will make the same stupid jokes we make over Zoom.
Yeah.
And then I will drive home, stopping again at a charge station, peeing again in a field, and to mark my territory so other Tesla users know that, oh, he was here. And I will hightail it safely back to Vegas. And I believe that's safe enough for September.
On paper, I'm so curious about the guy, someone who has not put his feet down outside of his home for 6 months. How this is quite a trek.
Also, someone who for 25 years has not gotten any place on his own.
Oh yeah.
You know, Glenn says, here's when the car is going to be here. We walk out, we get in the black car. They drive me to the set. I get out of my car, and someone walks me to the set to make up everywhere.
What's the longest you've driven in your Tesla?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay. How long have you owned your Tesla?
3 years.
Okay. So there's not that much of a depreciation on its battery charge in 3 years, right?
No. I'll have a full battery charge. I can, in principle, I think, if I go to a full charge, because the Tesla, you set it for doing a 5/8 charge
Yeah.
to keep the battery strong. But I will do it to 100% charge.
Okay.
And I believe I can get to LA on that, but I will stop and supercharge because I've always wanted to use the supercharger.
Okay. Good.
And he's always wanted to mark territory.
Right.
As a guy who used to love to run out of gas, I want to make sure you're not testing your Tesla's limits on your way to your game show.
I will, my heart will want to do that.
I know. I knew it. I knew it. It's better have a beautiful pea field by the supercharger.
But I will tell you that I have never in my life walked from my trailer to the set of anything alone.
That's your fear of getting lost. Not going to LA on your own, but your fear of making it from your trailer to where you're supposed to be.
Well, I don't know how to do that. There's always
somebody to walk you.
an attractive, non-gendered PA
Yeah.
who will walk me from one place to the other.
A comely go-getter.
And they have a headset
Yeah.
that tells him or her or they where to take me. And they're in constant, we have the package and the rest of them too. And he is moving toward the set.
You should ask him to leave a rope or a string or something.
Or maybe a little trail of Cheetos. Penn, follow the trail mix. While you pick out the M&Ms, follow the grains, the nuts and the seeds. And I will be sitting there in my little cubicle. Also, there's nobody to come over and say, you're getting a little crazy, Penn. Which the producers come over and say to me after show 2.
Yeah.
They come over and go, you're giving clues that nobody can understand. And you're laughing hysterically at clues that are crystal clear from the other person. Right. You have to remember, you're not playing this game by yourself. You have a partner that wants to earn the money.
Yeah.
It's not just get the clue and then say anything that pops into your head for 2 minutes.
They shoot 6 shows a day?
Yes.
That is a money printing machine if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Game shows are generally their week in one day.
All right. I got to start thinking of some game shows.
They usually do 5, but we're doing 6.
Okay.
Last time I did 1 day of 6.
Do you prep at all for this?
You can't, fortunately.
Yeah, there's no drill.
I mean, I could try to not act like a crazy person. I have to say words that make someone else say another word back.
Yeah.
And you need to have a theory of mind of the other person, of what they know and what they think.
Yeah.
Sometimes my theory of mind on other people slips away.
There's a story I read in the paper that reminded me of you, that I was like, this is something that young Penn would figure out, I think. But they found a homeless person who'd been living in the stadium of the Tampa Bay soccer team for 2 weeks.
Is that a comfortable life?
Well, that's it. They have luxury suites, right? So they have all these really nice luxury suites for these big corporate, boxes. And so he was found. They found team blankets, promotional blankets, in one of the luxury boxes, and that's how they knew somebody was living there.
And probably security isn't very good because it's often so open. They have probably security guards and stuff.
Well, I mean, that's because everything's shut down because of COVID, right?
Right. So the breaking in is probably not that hard.
Right, and that's basically they're saying they're like, this is not something that would ever happen under usual circumstances. And then they said normally the luxury boxes would be cleaned, at least at a rate that we would have seen the blankets earlier. And I was like, all you did was tell everybody who owns a corporate box that you haven't been cleaning them. That's all you told. That's all you told us in the press. If I owned a corporate box, I'd be like, wait, what? You haven't been cleaning my suite?
And what did he eat?
So he ate stadium food, which to some people is a dream come true.
But doesn't stadium food get prepared?
I think so. I don't know if he prepared it or not. They said he only ate $200 worth of food items. That can't be stadium prices. I feel like one day worth of eating is $200 at any stadium.
So he was just opening boxes of peanut M&Ms?
I think so. I think he was eating peanut M&Ms. Maybe refrigerated hot dogs and buns.
Running the popcorn stand.
That's what I wish he was like firing it up, right? Pouring in that weird nacho cheese stuff to become goo, getting it going, firing it up, getting those weird hot dog rollers going.
I have many friends who are carny trash.
Right.
And they've said that the newbie mistake on the carnival is to eat carnival food.
Definitely. I would definitely make that error. And then eventually you just realize that, wow, is that a mistake, right?
Except for Vinny the Puke, who was a fire eater. No, I'm mixing up two people.
Okay.
This was another guy. This is the guy who was my idol. Because this guy, I'm glad I don't remember his name because I shouldn't use it. But he was real carny trash. He was a fire eater and a sword swallower. And he had no sense of self. So there were all these weird tattoos on his ankles.
Yeah.
And my friend saw the tattoos, and this guy was a little bit prickly. So we had to get to know him pretty well before he asked him. But then he said, what are all these weird symbols on your ankles and legs? And he said, well, I sometimes fix tattoo needles for people, and to test them, I just write on my legs and ankles.
His shins were his scrap paper?
Yes. So you take a pen to see if it's working, and you do this, and you rub it back and forth across like a napkin or a matchbook. He would do that on his body. So there were all these random lines of tattoos all over him.
Yeah.
When you'd fix a tattoo needle and go, zzz, okay, that works. But also, this particular guy, not only did not follow the rules of not eating carny food. He not only did that, he did not go to the cook tent where they have fairly normal food.
Yeah.
What he would do to save money is he would reach into the trash.
Oh, no.
And pull out food people had thrown away and finish.
Oh.
Popcorn, nachos, candy apples, hot dogs.
You mean I could have funnel cakes every day?
Exactly. But there is a kicker on this that is stunning. No one in the carny ever saw him sick one day or one moment. He was healthy as a horse. I imagine that fella right now is walking around at 75 years old, unmasked in the Ozarks. Was there a new show of Fool Us last week?
There was not. There was not a Fool Us on the air. Although Reddy, Rich, and I have been rewatching season 1 to do behind the scenes episodes on our little Secret Magic podcast.
What I'm saying is we don't need to get that in.
No.
We can talk about that anytime.
Yeah.
We do need to get Pig Latin in.
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do. I got a few of these, so did you. Lout and outlay, very good. Once you've got lout and outlay, you've also got stout and outstay. And that's from JD, Scoop JD.
Yeah.
One of your Scoop guys. came
ICS
through on
represent.
that. Plunder and Underplay.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Very good. That was Thomas Beach. And then Pout and Outpay by Tom Begley.
Okay.
Now, these were not accepted. These are not accepted.
Yeah.
Lover Overlay.
Nope.
No. If it was Overlay, yes, but Overlay, no. Sun and Unsay. You don't say Unsay. Sheer and Hearsay. No. That's Earshay. Rest and Estray. Who says Estray?
Astray? Oh, I got it.
Astray, yeah.
Yeah, now I get it. Sorry.
It's the legal term for a stray. If you find an animal that belongs to somebody but it's wandering around, that's an estray. And nobody knows that.
Wear and Airway. Wear is an uncommon word.
Yeah.
Although if it's verbal, you could get wear and airway for anything. Yeah. KO and OK. Craziness. Not Pig Latin.
That was my mistake. KO works.
KO? What's KO? How do we use KO in language?
Knockout.
Oh, right.
KO OK. You're right. KO OK. And pray après.
That's French. That's not English.
But we're wrong. KO and OK is really good. And I also think wear and airway is good too.
Yeah.
So
just not that version of where.
Right. That version of where is too rare. Air ray. Too air ray.
So is this to bring this up is to say we're not taking more submissions ready? Is that right?
We're done.
How many emails did you get ready of Pig Latin?
On the order of 60.
Okay. Where did that compare to Birds with Arms videos, which we're also done taking?
I had less Birds with Arms videos.
Okay.
Fewer.
Either are correct, by the way.
But I had way more Rat Trap videos, which I didn't want any of those.
None. Now, I want to talk about this. You know, I do these things called cameos.
Yes.
And you go to cameo.com and I will say anything, right? I'll do anything. Well, I finally had one that was rather startling.
Oh.
I was asked to do one for Robin. And I was given a list of qualities of Robin, things she was interested in, and to wish her a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the cameo and thought nothing more of it. Until all of a sudden, Twitter blew up and Reddy Rich let me know, and listeners let me know, that I had just done a cameo for Robin Quivers.
Oh.
Now, the person who hired me to do this cameo was Gary Delabate.
Oh.
Baba Booey.
Yeah.
You think I would notice the name Gary Delabate.
You did not? You really didn't notice the name Gary Delabate?
There it was. But I look at the name of the person I'm doing it for and not the name of the person that booked.
Uh-huh.
Because on the thing, when I'm actually doing it, it says Gary.
Yeah.
And then on the kind of receipt thing, it says Gary Delabate.
Yeah.
He made no attempt to conceal it. But there was my cameo being played on Stern.
Oh, funny.
And fortunately, I said nothing embarrassing.
Yeah.
I talked about meditation, which Stern also meditates and talked about.
Yeah.
And I was very pleasant to Robin. They were all a little bit mystified as to how I would not notice. And Howard Stern also asked why I was doing cameos if I needed the money. And the answer to that is, I don't believe I really do need the money, but boy, do I need the work.
Yeah.
I really need to feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And the cameos, I mean, we're of course losing money at a tremendous rate because we're still trying to pay our crew and do all of that.
Right.
We have no money coming in. But my thought when I was asked to do it was just I do 2 sessions a day and thinking about somebody and doing a little 1-minute video for them, and then getting very often, thank you notes or thank you reviews, or this was wonderful for my dad liked it, or my wife liked it, seems to fill, or at least put a small amount of spackle in a small hole in my heart.
Yeah.
So the
You also got
answer,
roped into doing it for charity too at first.
yeah.
The practice of it came from charity.
Yeah, but I think I like it. I also had another weird thing happen.
So we're not going to do the Gilbert Groucho tie-in here?
What do you mean?
Why did Penn do cameo? Well, because Teller needed the money.
Yeah, you go. Yeah. That was your Gilbert doing Groucho?
It's a tough one. Sorry.
But I also had this really funny thing happen, which I also didn't notice in the names because they were a week apart.
Yeah.
I did a happy anniversary for a woman. A man. I did happy anniversary for a man and from his wife, and talked about their relationship and did all of that. And then did a happy anniversary for a woman and talked about all of that. Then they informed me that on their anniversary, they played them for each other.
Oh, that is really adorable.
And neither of them knew.
Do you like pina coladas?
Exactly. And that was pretty thrilling.
That's really adorable.
It is. And
That's got to be very flattering. That's going to be more flattering than the cameo itself, right? That you are the surprise for two people who are together.
Yes, it was amazing. It was phenomenal. Just beautiful. And I got some other ones. A couple of magicians had me doing punchlines.
Oh, funny.
Is the order of your cards this? And then someone else said something like, start saying poop sled very quietly and then get louder and louder until you're screaming, and then say ship need.
Poop sled and shipmead?
Something like that. Those weren't the actual words.
I'm curious if you play backwards or something like that. I don't know.
But I had to start quietly and build up. And someone else said, we're roasting my friend Dave. Tell him he's an asshole. He's a shitty drummer. So I told a lot of drummer jokes.
Oh, that's great.
But Stern, I did like it was a roast. So, it was nice. It was Stern talking about me. He was very pleasant.
Yeah.
And Robin, very pleasant. That also got me in touch again with Gary, because when I was on Facebook, I wrote to Gary fairly often.
Right.
But off Facebook, we'd stop. So I'd heard about his, what his sons are doing and how he's doing during lockdown and the Stern Show and all of that. So it was very, very sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
But you should notice the name Delabate.
It's a pretty notorious name. And it's not like even you've done the show. You know Gary Delabate. Beyond just knowing the famous name, you're friends with him.
I've probably done the show 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I do know Gary Delabate.
Yeah.
And I should notice that name. Now I'm trying to look a little more, but I'm not being very successful. I did notice today that someone was having me do one for Craig Ferguson.
Oh, okay.
And I said, maybe I should check that one out, see what that's for.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when you get older, words that you've used all your life start to look foreign to you. Like Yosemite.
I also did one for the guy who wrote Beetlejuice on Broadway.
Oh.
So that turned out to be less of a happy birthday to him and more of a fan letter.
Yeah, yeah. I know someone who worked on that show as well.
But he wrote it. My children love it. They talk about it all the time and they sing all the songs. I believe he wrote the book and not the music and lyrics, but they love it. They love that show.
Matt's such a pronoun dropper.
Anthony King is the guy I know. Is that the guy you're talking about?
I don't know.
Okay.
But, Beetlejuice got really fucked in
yes.
a zillion different ways.
Yeah.
COVID came in to put a nail in their coffin, but it was a show that people were really enjoying, and then they had to move theaters, and
people were skeptical, and it kept thriving and kept succeeding despite everybody kind of putting the bets against it. It was a really neat story.
Another big breakthrough. My son is 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he is a young 14. He's not 14 and a half. He wanted to see his friends, so we decided that they could mask up and be 15 feet apart and talk. So my son put on a mask and walked out to greet his friends. His friends said, "Mr. Gillette, is Zoltan around?"
No.
That's the size my son is.
Well, you said his height. We recorded a bank show, and you said his height on the show, and that, I believe, is taller than last time I had seen him.
Yeah, he's taller than you by a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think he was the last time I saw him.
Right.
It's just another reminder this thing's been 6 months, and that children can definitely grow in 6 months.
He goes up on his toes,
Yeah.
looks me in the eye, and says, "Soon." So I believe by the time he's 16, he will pass me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be weird.
It will be weird, but also as it should be.
As it should be, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about money, especially when Stern asked the question, does Penn need the money? Which I hadn't really asked in a while. And I went, oh, do I?
Yeah.
So I've sat down to my son and said, you know, son, I've said a lot of things about sports, but maybe you should consider basketball.
Is he right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay.
That's not good, right?
No, it's fine. If he was left-handed, I'd tell him you should tell him to be a pitcher, because with that size, he could throw a lot of stuff. And he's a lefty. He would make a lot of money.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I think jockey is off the table.
But thoroughbred's still on the table.
And I think gymnast is off the table.
Yeah.
Astronaut, long gone.
But he
fighter pilot.
He has no interest in sports.
If it were possible to have less interest than me, he's done it.
The real chats is that because he's going to the art school, right?
Yes.
And
well,
so,
he's remotely, yeah.
Right. But the challenge would be that, like, you really are exceptional for getting not typecast for your height.
Yes.
Like, that's a really the fact that you've gotten to play the roles that you have is a real feat for that you weren't just henchmen.
I don't play dumb and violent, yeah.
Yeah. So that's more of like,
as a matter of fact, on the movie what was it, Con Air?
Yeah.
The movie Con Air, there were like 10 guys, all over 6'5", playing convicts.
Yeah.
And I was told by one of them, who was a friend of mine, that over the lunch table, they spent a lot of time going, how come Penn doesn't have to play dumb? How come he's not beat up? We're beat up in every movie we do.
Yeah.
Some guy who's 5'6" comes up, punches us in the stomach, and we fall down.
Yeah. So that's going to be the real chat you have to have with him.
Yeah, he was, auditioning for The Music Man.
Yeah.
Not usually considered a giant size role.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, to not be of Mice and Men and the Frankenstein monster. My career.
No, I mean it's for real. It's troublesome. Like I'm 6'1", and and that was sometimes just a disqualifier when you have to be sitting next to someone on camera, for when you first get in and stuff. So above that, it's you're in very different territory. It's a different fight.
We also should throw in Conan O'Brien.
Yep.
And Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Although they've not done acting outside of themselves.
Right. But they did find a way to not be ogres in show business.
But Stern is always Stern.
Yeah.
And Conan's always Conan. They're both almost my height, not quite.
He has you watching Community, yeah?
He does.
I'm very curious whether you're taking to this type of humor or not.
They are so skilled.
Yes.
I'd kind of forgotten how good, whatever you want to call that, sketch comedians.
Yeah.
You know, these people who've been trained in Upright Citizens Brigade and Second City, and they're, third generation that.
Yes.
And they've been doing, since they were 17, they've been training in comedy.
Yeah.
It used to be that a natural talent like Chevy Chase or John Belushi really took off. But these people, and of course on Community you see it in person, leave people like Chevy Chase in the dust.
Right.
They can do any kind of joke with commitment. They can do characters within characters.
Yep.
They can do what's his name? Danny Pudi.
Yes. Yeah.
Who plays Abed.
Yep.
He can do Abed playing Batman.
Yeah.
He can layer. He can. They do the serious drama within the comedy, and don't miss either. I mean, it is the equivalent. I mean, not a form of art that is to my taste, but it is the equivalent of watching someone juggle 7 clubs.
Yeah.
And they all do it, and they do it meshed perfectly.
Yeah.
And you see that Chevy Chase is out of his depth.
Yep.
Doesn't have the training, doesn't have the skills, doesn't have the focus.
And, famously, didn't get it towards the end. Just didn't even get what they were doing. Yeah.
And you see people like Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Who is playing dumb, playing an incredibly stupid character.
Yeah.
And doing it with such compassion and such raw, naked intelligence underneath it that it is breathtaking. Playing the essentially the dumb blonde jokes,
right.
and playing them with a clarity in his eyes that lets you, without a wink, but a clarity. And it's just stuff that we didn't see 20 years ago. You just didn't see it.
Yeah.
You saw it maybe in one cast member who happened to be that good. And now, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's almost like it always goes in waves. The pattern of UCB and those types of schools go right back to Second City hitting, in the 60s and 70s, and all of a sudden it everyone can get so good at comedy it can almost become like white noise, where like the speed and ability to like execute all these references and all these things at some time, it's now too many people have gotten good at it for anyone to get credit for doing it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, every person in that cast would have been the best breakout person in the first 10 years of Saturday Night Live.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and like we'd never seen before.
Right.
They would have left Chevy, Belushi, and Aykroyd and Bill Murray in their dust.
Right.
I mean, you can't compare Chevy at his absolute peak with the guy McHale.
Oh, Joe McHale, yeah.
At his peak.
Yeah.
Better looking, faster, funnier, clearer, more honest.
Also 6'4".
Yes. And also, when they have a number where they have to sing or dance, they can all do it.
Yeah.
They all do it really well. I mean, Danny Pudi, dance major.
Yeah.
So one of the bits, he has to do a silly interpretive jazz dance. And he's as good as people I saw in the 70s doing legitimate dance. And when it's time to sing, beautiful in harmonies and clear voices and trained.
Yeah.
And I imagine Community isn't that special that way. I imagine, The Office and Parks and Recreation and all those shows are right at that level, right?
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, I think maybe not in the classic training of dance and singing, but the definitely versatility of acting and comedy and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And they also can do 5 different kinds of comedy.
Yeah.
You know, when I was doing Comedy Central, I did all the voiceovers. And I worked with, 30 different producers. And they'd write different kind of jokes. And they'd write jokes that were out of the kind of jokes that I do. And when you always write for yourself,
Yeah.
you write right in the pocket.
Right.
And I had to really think and work to do different kinds of stuff. And these people on Community, they, any kind of jokes. I mean, if they are forced to do a fart joke, they do it.
Yeah.
If they have to do a Kierkegaard joke, they do it.
And I think what's fascinating about the show is that like it started off with a bunch of weirdos trying to play by the rules and do a network sitcom.
Yeah.
And then they basically had to show their true colors, and it became like a cult hit because they're like, no, we're a bunch of weirdos who want to do really weird shows of television. And they did.
And you've got the guy playing the dean.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Doing silly drag jokes.
Yeah.
And he's an Academy Award winner.
Yeah.
And he plays the absolute lowest kind of British, outdated drag burlesque.
Yes.
With an awareness of how things have changed that make it unoffensive.
Yep.
Seems impossible to me.
Yep. Even John Oliver's a little out of place on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, I can't imagine walking into that room. It's like walking into the room with, and it's not, I mean, and I don't mean this in any negative way. It's not natural talent.
Right.
We don't get to the natural talent. They're just so fucking skilled. The natural talent has been eliminated.
Yeah, they're just carving it up.
I mean, they started out, at a good solid B.
Yeah.
And now they've gotten to perfect.
Yeah. But
I'll tell you, Danny Pudi and Daniel Glover, like nothing I've ever seen.
Donald Glover, right?
Donald Glover. I knew that wasn't right.
I know, yeah.
And Joe McHale
Yeah.
has to do all these I'm sexy jokes.
Yeah.
Slides right over him.
Yeah.
Easy, calm, comfortable. So yes, it is not a form that's to my taste, but it's watching Olympics, ski jumping.
Yeah.
How is anybody that good?
I was not prepared for all these hot takes on Community. I'm a little speechless.
Yeah. Well, turns out you have someone work on something, 8 hours a day for 10 years.
Yeah.
With fabulous people coaching them, they get good. Each one of these people could probably be a professional boxer at this point, if they'd put the same amount of time in. We've got a lot more to talk about, but I think we should wrap it up now. We're way over time. So that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha.
And to our listening ears,
You become naked.
nature sang and round us rang the music of the spheres. That was
I'll tell you, Wednesday's show is going to be great because I can talk about my wife making kimchi.
Whoa.
I can talk about you and Reddy having a tiff. We've got so many good things coming up, I'm telling you. So many good things. We also need a title for this show.
Yeah, we don't have one.
You become... Oh, no. We love you.
Hot off the presses from the chat, pledging.
Oh, my goodness. Edging play becomes pledging. That's the winner.